Hello everyone! Wouldn't it be great if you could take all the information on a website like this and turn it into a social media post like this? Well, this can now be done via chaining in AgenticFlow. So you may be wondering, what exactly is chaining? So chaining involves executing small steps in a row where each result feeds the next, cutting copy and paste, and reducing errors. In AgenticFlow, the steps are very clear, the tools are swappable, and the whole run is easy to review later, so improvements happen fast without breaking the flow. In today's demo, we will be grabbing content from a web page, generating a suitable image and writing captions with AI, and then posting everything to social media all inside AgenticFlow. Let's get started. So to start, we'll head to the Workflows tab. And then from here, we'll just create a new workflow from scratch. I'll just call it chaining. Make sure to select workflow and I'll just call it chaining. And then I'll create the workflow. So the first step in our chain, actually what I've planned is to scrape the content of a blog. So what I'll do is I'll delete this node first, and then I'll create a new step. I'll just do scraping, web scraping. Okay, and the node is here. So the web URL will just be a variable we input. So I'll just go on and edit this to URL. Okay, hit save. Go back here. I'll just insert the variable by just selecting hex and then selecting this. The scraping type will be text only, and then the tokens we can select how many we want, but I'll just leave it as default. And then from here I'll hit save. So the next step in our chain is to use the content script from this URL to generate an image. So I'll just add a new step. I'll just add generate image. There's a note here. I select my connection. You can select the provider also, and then from here the prompt will just be the output of the web scraping node, and then the negative prompt I'll just put not this web scraping content. And then from here I can select the aspect ratio. I'll just leave it as 9:16. So once we are done with generating the image, the next step in the chain will be to generate the post captions and content for the Pinterest post. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new step. We're going to get AI to do this, okay? So we're going to ask Claude, and then the question will just be create a Pinterest pin based on the content we have scraped. So over here, so we'll be chaining this to this, and then we'll just hit save. So now that we are done generating the image as well as the captions for our Pinterest pin, we'll go ahead and create an MCP connection to post onto Pinterest. So I'll just go ahead and do that. Okay. So from here, I'll just select my Pinterest MCP connection. And then create pin. Well, the thing about Pinterest is that to create a pin, you would need to create a pin on a board. For that, you would need a board ID, which is a little challenging to obtain, but I'll show you how to do it here. So we'll go on to Pinterest, and this is the board which I want to create the pin in. So from here, we'll just inspect the page, go over to network, and then just search board ID, board_ID. Hit enter, and then refresh the page. Give it a while. And then from here, you can see that after you click onto the first source, you can see that it says board ID, this 114 something. You just copy this. And then we'll have to input it into AgenticFlow. So what I'm gonna do is, okay, I'll hit save first, and then I'll create a user input just for the board ID. So from here, I'll just hit text, and I'll just call this board ID. Okay, and then I will input what we have just copied here. So now that we have the board ID settled, I'll go back to my MCP action node, and then for the instructions, I'll just tell it to post a pin onto Pinterest with the image we generated, as well as the captions we generated, which is from Claude, onto this board. Sorry. Okay, then once we're done, I'll just hit save. As you can see now, we have a chain. So firstly, we'll scrape some information off a URL, and then the output of this node will feed it into this generate image node to generate an image from the information we have scraped from the web. Similarly, we'll use this information we have scraped from the web to ask Claude to create captions for our Pinterest pin. So this chain will end in the running of the MCP action, where we'll take the output of the generate image as well as the ask Claude node to be the input of this run MCP action node, so that we can create a Pinterest pin. So let me show you the result. So what I will do is I will need to insert a URL here. So let's just find a web page, maybe iPhone 17 Pro blog. Okay. Give it a while, and then choose one with, okay, maybe this one. Okay, so I'll just copy the URL, put it into this our workflow here. This text is the board ID, which we have copied just now on Pinterest, and then I'll just hit run. So we'll just give it a while to scrape the content of the URL first, and then with that content we generate the image, create the captions, and then run the MCP action to post on the Pinterest. So as you can see, it has generated an image based on the web page and a caption, and right now it is going to post on Pinterest. So as you can see, it's now successful. So I'll just show you the result. So this is our original board, and then with the image posted, just let me refresh it. Here it is, all posted. So as you can see from today's demo, through chaining here, it makes work really more simpler and more reliable by breaking big tasks, which are 4 steps in this case, or it can be even bigger depending on your use case, into clear steps 1, 2, 3, and 4 that pass the results forward. So it is easy to change 1 step or 2 without touching the rest. So let's say I don't want to generate an image, I want to generate more text instead. I can change this node, and the improvements happen fast. So I can swap this out, and then I'll do a run, and then the result will be as I desired. So in AgenticFlow, this really means fewer mistakes, faster turnarounds, and a process that can be reused whenever we need. So I've come to the end of this video. Thank you everyone for watching, and I hope to see you again.